Hi everybody and welcome to AQ's Blog and Grill. Today we're excited to have Mallorie Brodie. Now Mallorie Brodie is the co-founder of Bridgit. Now Bridgit is something new. It's a startup company and we're going to find out a little bit more about Bridgit because it's kind of really got some things going on here. So welcome Mallorie.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Alan.
It's great to have you. So tell us a little bit about Bridgit. What exactly is it?
So Bridgit is a project management platform. We're targeting the construction industry, so we'll sell to general contractors, to developers, and what bug tracking is to the software industry, we are to the construction industry.
Wow.
So we're essentially the tool that construction teams will use to make sure that when they're handing over a finished building to whoever the client is, they're happy with the job.
Great. So is this an enterprise play? Is this like going to the construction companies, or is this a consumer play so that they, or both?
So right now it's an enterprise play, so we sell directly to the company. They use it with their project team on site, so the homeowners or the clients aren't involved at this point in time. That is something we have been exploring though. Sure. When we first started the company, everyone we would pitch the idea to would say, I've built my own home or I've done a renovation and I would love to use this tool to manage my contractor. So it's something that we're definitely exploring, and who knows, maybe in the future it will be both.
You have that opportunity. That's great. So how did you decide with your co-founder that there was a need? How did you kind of think that this was going to be viable?
Yeah, absolutely. It was an interesting process. So we were both Western students, and Lauren was studying in civil engineering, and I was studying at the business school at Western. We teamed up through an accelerator program in Toronto. Oh. So they put us together. They give you mentorship, startup capital, and they kind of leave you on your own from that point to figure out what problem you're going to solve. So the obvious step to us was, we know we want to focus on the construction industry just based on Lauren's experience. So we need to go out and talk to folks in the construction industry. So every morning before class, we were still in our final semester at Western, we'd go out crane hunting. So we'd essentially drive around town, we'd look for the active construction sites, we'd walk on site, and we'd start asking questions such as, what are your biggest pain points? What frustrates you? Where are you wasting time? Where are you wasting money? And after 500 of those interviews, we sort of were told by those potential end users that deficiency management was one of the biggest problems that they were experiencing on site, and they were just using pen and paper at the time.
Wow. So in terms of co-founders, what should people be looking for? I mean, you're from the Ivey Business School, and Lauren is from the engineering school.
Right.
So what is it that makes you good co-founders, and what would you suggest to other people looking for co-founders?
Yeah, absolutely. Complementary skill sets is the first thing, and I think that's something that a lot of people know they should look for, and it sometimes it doesn't evolve that way because people tend to kind of gravitate towards people that are similar to themselves. Yep. So maybe in some ways being forced to work with someone from a different faculty was a good thing because maybe we wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Right.
I know at the business school, there's new venture projects and everything, and all the business students get together, and the ideas that come of it are never that great because they all are coming from the same background.
Yes.
So I think that's absolutely critical when looking for a co-founder, finding someone that's good at things that you're not good at.
Fabulous. Where is the market going to be for Bridgit? Is it going to be North American? Is it going to be global? What's your vision right now?
Right now, we see North America for sure. They have more sophisticated construction methodology right now. But having said that, in Asia, there's obviously a ton of construction going on. We haven't, researched the market there by any means in depth at this point. But so for now, North America. But the sky's the limit. So we'll see.
Of course. Absolutely. Okay. Now, you seem to have entrepreneurship in your DNA. I mean, right from your experience back in high school, you were at Colonel By High School in Ottawa. And it seems like, if I can track you back, that you kind of started to start stuff when you were at that level. So what's been driving you?
I think, in my family, there's a couple of entrepreneurs. So my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they're both entrepreneurs actually in the construction industry. Oh. My dad's in real estate and has always had his own business. So I think it definitely comes from their influence initially. And my parents really just, embraced anything new that I wanted to start. So I think maybe a lot of parents would say, really maybe do something else with your time. But they would just kind of say, yeah, great idea. And they'd let me go ahead even when the ideas were terrible. And I think it was kind of nice to have that positive reinforcement from an early age.
Oh.
And I was always just, attracted to kind of finding problems and trying to find a solution and, bringing people together in order to make that happen.
Right. Well, it's interesting again, like going back, you started an online art gallery.
Yes.
I mean, that fascinates me. I mean, I would love to do that. And you beat me to it.
Well, you can take it, because it didn't work out when I did it. So.
Okay, so what was the challenge with the online art gallery? Why did you get into it, and then what seemed to go not so well?
Right, so at Western, I was studying business, but that program starts in third year,
Yes.
so you can take whatever courses you like in the first two. I was focused on art history and comparative literature, so I was in class with a lot of these fine art students who kept saying, I have all this artwork I've created in class, and it's in my basement, and I need to throw it out. Do you want it? And so instantly I would say, okay, can I take a look at some of this art? And it was really good art. A lot of them had been, painting and taking art classes ever since they were very young. The research that I wish I had done, which I think really helped with Bridgit, was I made sure that I had artists that were on board to post their artwork online and everything, but I didn't go to the buyer side and make sure that there was sort of a willingness to pay for the student art. And there definitely was, but the price was kind of capped at something lower for them what the artist wanted to sell at. So it was kind of this challenge to kind of get both groups to be happy.
There you go. Well, and it seems like you learned from that experience, because if you and Lauren went out and did 500 interviews, I mean, that's testing the customer wants and needs. So, I feel really kind of intimidated sitting here, Mallorie, because you've already hosted your own show.
Yes, I have. It's taking all my energy to not ask you questions right now and just turn the tables.
So this was during high school, and it was a sports show, was it not, that you were co-host on?
Yeah, it was Rogers High School Sports Zone. So what happened was my dad came home one day, he had seen an article in the paper calling an audition for hosts. And so he said, hey Mal, you're not busy enough, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure, why not? I was kind of like a yes person in high school. Any opportunity,
you were fearless.
I just said, yes, I'll try it. So I went to the audition, ended up getting the position, and it was amazing. I was really into sports in high school, so it was an opportunity to meet all the other high school athletes around town. So.
And Ottawa's an athletic city. I mean, there's a lot of good amateur sports there. So what tips would you pass on to women coming into the entrepreneurship category?
Yeah, I just think there's such an opportunity for females to get involved now. A lot of programs are catering to females specifically, so I think there's actually a lot more opportunity, especially at the seed stage, to get involved. There's not a lot of examples to look up to necessarily, but that doesn't mean that you can't speak with other successful startup founders that aren't necessarily female. You can always go to them for advice.
For sure.
And so I think women actually have a huge advantage right now when it comes to getting involved and getting into accelerator programs and all that type of thing. So just go do it.
The future then for Mallorie and Bridgit. So let's do Bridgit first. What does success look like for Bridgit?
So Lauren and I are just so excited about the construction industry in general. Right from when we started those initial interviews, it was obvious that there was so much opportunity, not just in the specific area that we're focused on now, but really throughout the industry, throughout all the stakeholders involved. So we see no end. This is our first product. We plan to expand the offerings of this product and then build future products from that point onward. So there really is there's no end to Bridgit.
Perfect.
It's just up from here.
And Mallorie.
So for myself, I absolutely love building businesses. This is number 2 for me, even though the first one I try and forget about a little bit. So I don't see an end to that either. At some point in the future, I'd love to get into real estate development. So that's something that my dad has done, and I'd drive around with him when I was younger, looking at pieces of land. Yep, scouting. I'd get my small commission if I'd spend enough time with him doing it. So I was always motivated by that cash incentive as well. So that's something kind of long-term down the road I'd like to investigate.
Isn't that great? Mallorie, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan.
Great. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You'll see a subscribe button right here, and if you push that button, then you'll subscribe to AQ's Blog and Grill, and we'd be happy to have you because we have lots more exciting guests to go with our guest, Mallorie Brodie. So onward and upwards. We'll see you later. Bye.